Breaking news update on the elections. We finally have received news regarding the Ontario election.
But before we start that breaking news, let's go to Bill with sports.
Last night in hockey news, the Ottawa Senators beat the Toronto Maple Leafs in overtime with Dan Healy's 2 goals overpowering them. Also, Colorado Avalanche's Paul Stastny got a hat-trick against the Dallas Stars last night. That game ended 4-3. The Detroit Red Wings beat the Anaheim Ducks 3-2 in a shootout last night. The Montreal Canadiens also beat the Carolina Hurricanes in overtime. Saka Koivu's the captain with 2 goals. X, back to you.
And now our special report about the upcoming referendum.
Oh, what? Oh. A referendum is your chance to have your voice heard. It's not often that a referendum occurs, but when it does occur, it is because the opinion of the public, you, the voter, is important.
The referendum is about Ontario's electoral system. You have the choice to choose between whether you want to keep our old system, the first past the post system, or a new system called the MMP.
First past the post. Whoever has the most votes in the election is the winner and will represent the electoral district in the provincial legislature.
MMP, mixed member proportional, is when the voters get 1 vote to decide which candidate they want to vote for and represent them in the electoral representation, and 1 vote to choose a party that they want to represent them. Now we're going to see the stances of parties on crucial issues.
Okay, the Conservatives aim to lower debt reductions. Conservatives claim to have $13 billion on Canada's debt in 2006, and they have promised to further reduce it in 2007 by $9 billion.
There's a big pile from the upper main hallway on the 2nd floor. I suggest taking an alternate route. As you can see, the line for the cafeteria is so long. How long have you been waiting here?
I've been waiting here for 20 minutes.
20 minutes. I suggest you should have brought your lunch today. Eating outside was the best choice. Caitlin here is eating outside. How is it?
It's really good. There's no traffic.
There's no traffic.
Can I ask you a couple questions about the election?
What election?
Questions about the election?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask you some questions about the election?
Beep.
Questions about the election?
You certainly may.
Okay. Do you know who the current Premier for Ontario is?
Yes, I do. His name is Dalton McGuinty. Quite a nice fellow.
Yeah. McGuinty. Okay.
Ontario.
Yes, Dalton McGuinty.
Dalton McGuinty.
Honestly say, I have no idea.
Dalton McGuinty.
Alright. So, Miss Yates, how do you feel about the first past the post system?
Pardon me?
First past the post system?
I find that status quo, everybody's frustrated with this particular current legislative system. I know the MMP that they're trying to invoke with the referendum is...
Past the post system.
I like it.
How do you feel about the first past the post system?
What?
First past the post system. How do you feel about the first past the post system?
What?
Okay, next question.
So, how do you feel about first past the post system?
So do you know when the election is?
No clue. Yeah.
Do you have any idea who's running?
Nope. Nope.
Do you know who's running? Who's the current Premier for Ontario?
I should, but I don't. Yeah, no, we don't know that either.
Do you know what the first past the post system is?
I used to. I don't know. That's the whole point.
So, Raina, what do you feel about the first past the post system? How do you feel about it? What is a premier? Not me. Can I ask you some questions about the election? No. How do you feel about the first past the post system?
What, where, why, when?
You don't know what that is?
No.
Can I ask you some questions about the provincial election?
Okay.
How do you feel about the first past the post system? Okay. So do you know when the election is? Do you know who's the current Premier for Ontario? No. Do you know what a Premier is?
No.
What do you feel about the first past the post system?
I don't have anything.
You don't think proportional representation would better represent the voter's desires?
Who's running for the Green Party?
I don't know.
Who's running for NDP?
I have no clue.
that?
Yeah, you don't know what that is. Do you know who the current Ontario Premier is?
No.
Do you know who's running for NDP?
No.
Do you know who's running for anything, like any party?
George Bush.
Very good. Do you think a proportional representation would better represent the voters' desires?
Sure.
Do you know who the Prime Minister is?
No. No.
What does NDP stand for?
I don't know. Can you tell me that?
National Department of Poo. Can I ask you a couple questions about the election?
What election?
Okay. Do you know who the current provincial premier for Ontario is?
I can honestly say I have no idea.
Do you know who's running for NDP?
No.
How do you feel about the first past the post system?
I like it.
So you don't think a proportional representation would better represent the voters' desires?
No, I don't.
Really? Who's running for Green Party?
Someone.
That's great.
No problem.
Oh. Well, politics are boring.
Good point.
I think that politics could go suck a dick.
Questions about the election?
You certainly may.
Okay. Do you know who the current premier for Ontario is?
Yes, I do. His name is Dalton McGeetsy. Quite a nice fellow.
Do you know who's running for NDP?
No. Is it John Tory? No, he's running for PC.
What about Green Party?
Green Party have no use for it.
How do you feel about the first past the post system?
The what?
So you don't think a proportional representation would better represent the voters' desires?
Yes, I do actually. I just didn't hear your question. So if you rephrase it that way, yes, it should be by proportion for sure. The bigger cities should get more